Hello my dear students and welcome to Zenith Academy Online. Today we are doing part 2 of the chapter Components of Food for CBSE class 6. In our last video we studied about different components of food like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, water and roughage. In this video, we'll be talking about balanced diet and what are the deficiency diseases caused. So first, let's talk about balanced diet. So before studying balanced diet, we should know what is health. So the state of complete physical and mental well-being is known as health. So my dear students, health is not just the physical well-being but also the mental well-being. Now, can you see the picture here? It contains almost all the important and necessary components of food. So, a diet that contains all necessary components, water and roughage in adequate amounts, that is in proper amounts, for the proper functioning of body is known as a balanced diet. Now we know that each individual's dietary requirement is different. For example, an energetic person needs more carbohydrates because we know that carbohydrate helps in the formation of energy. Now, a growing child needs more proteins. We know for growth and building of body, what is needed? Proteins. So, a growing child needs more of protein in his food. So my dear students, what is a balanced diet and how you can define? A diet which contains all the important nutrients in the right amount is called a complete or a balanced diet. So if a diet consists of a single or very few food items, then the diet will be unbalanced no matter what the food is, because no single food contains all the nutrients we need in the right proportions to be healthy. For example, consider a person living only on meat and bread. It seems that he is enjoying his food, but his diet is unbalanced. Why? Because both meat and bread lack vitamin A, C and D and are also low in calcium. Meat also lacks roughage, some amount of which is provided by the bread though. But the diet will therefore not be complete until fruits, milk and vegetables are also eaten. So my dear students, always remember to have a balanced diet. Have a combination of all type of nutrients and not just the food that you love. So, a balanced diet must contain food from each of the following food groups. Now, you must ask that what should we include? So, a balanced diet must contain food from each of the following food groups. Now, which food groups? First is protein group. So, from this, there should be some item in your food daily. So, what is it? Meat, eggs, fish, and if you are not a non-vegetarian, then you should include beans, nuts and peas, which are also rich in proteins and fats. Now, milk group. Every day you should have one of the products from the milk group like milk, cheese, curd and ice cream. Rich in proteins, fats, minerals and carbohydrates. Just don't concentrate on ice cream, my dear students. You have to include any one of these. So, try to have milk every day without complaint. Also, vegetable and fruit group. Fresh vegetables and fruits rich in carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals should be included in your diet. And then next is cereal group. So rice, bread, chapatis and noodles are also rich in carbohydrates. So you should add something from this every day. So the diet should be planned so that the body gets sufficient amount of each nutrient as well as roughage and water. So before planning the meal of the day, you should remember that your food should contain food from each of the following food groups. Now, my dear students, there are many diseases which are caused due to an improper diet. So, energy requirements vary from person to person, we already know this. Now, deficiency of one or more nutrients affects our health by causing deficiency diseases like goiter. Can you see the swollen neck here? So, this is a deficiency disease known as goiter. Then night blindness. Can you see, I have taken two pictures here. This is the normal vision of a person who does not have any deficiency disease. So basically night blindness is caused due to deficiency of vitamin A. So a person who is not having deficiency of vitamin A will have a vision like this. But if a person having a deficiency of vitamin A in the night, he will not be able to see properly. So this would be his vision for the same scene. This is a picture of malnutrition, and then there is a disease known as anemia. You can see here, this is hand of a normal person which is having enough of RBC, and anemic person lacks the number of RBC. Okay, RBCs are red blood cells. Let's talk about malnutrition. What do you mean by malnutrition? The imbalance in the nutrition available and the amount of nutrition required to ensure proper growth and development is called malnutrition. Now, many a times it happens that nutrition is not available and we require a proper amount. So, whenever there is an imbalance in the nutrition that is available to you and the amount of nutrition required by you, okay, then there is malnutrition. So, malnutrition can be result of either less nutrients available or the body's inability to use the nutrients available. Now, there can be two conditions, my dear children. First is nutrients are not available. The food that is rich in different nutrients is not available. And the second case can be the body is not capable enough to absorb these nutrients. The nutrients are available, but then your body is incapable of absorbing these nutrients. So, in both the condition, the patient faces malnutrition. Now, the deficiency of proteins, carbohydrates and fats is known as protein energy malnutrition, which is abbreviated as PEM. So, protein energy malnutrition is categorized into two major diseases. So, there are two major diseases which comes under PEM, that is Merasmus and Kwashiorkor. So, let's talk about Merasmus and Kwashiorkor in detail. First, we'll talk about the disease Merasmus. Can you see? His ribs are visible, his bones are visible, he is so lean and thin. So, it is a diet deficient in energy as well as proteins. So, his diet is deficient in energy as well as protein rich food, and this causes a deficiency disease called Merasmus. Now, in Merasmus, the child suffering from this disease is very thin and weak and is unable to move. He is so thin and weak that he is not able to move, and growth is also stunted. The growth is also slow, and body tissues slowly waste away, and the tissues of the body simply waste away. It is used. Okay, so the muscles becomes zero. The next disease is Kwashiorkor or Kwashiorkor. The diet deficient in proteins affects young children and results in disease called Kwashiorkor. Can you see this? Okay, so here he is so thin. Can you see the limbs? Okay, even the ribs are visible. But here you see retention of water. The abdomen part is swollen. So the symptoms of this disease are, first, the stomach and feet become swollen with water. The muscles waste away. You can see there are no muscles here. Okay, so the muscles go away, the waste away. The skin gets discolored. You see discoloration in the skin as well. The hair becomes reddish and frizzy. Okay, the hair is not smooth, it changes its color and it also becomes frizzy. Physical and mental growth of the child is slowed down. So along with physical, mental growth also slows down. So here is the difference between marasmus and kwashiorkor. This is a severe deficiency of all the nutrients and inadequate caloric intake. So here there is a deficiency of almost all nutrients, but in this case there is only protein deficiency but normal caloric intake. Here peripheral edema is absent. You can see here in this picture there is no water retention, none of the body parts is swollen, but here peripheral edema is present. You can see this is swollen, the legs and the abdomen part is swollen. Here hair change is absent, there is no change in the hair, there is no frizziness, no change in color, no sparseness, whereas here hair changes is common, like sparse or very less hair and they are easily pulled out. Okay, even you see that the color also changes, it becomes slightly reddish. Now in this case skin is dry and wrinkled, but there is no dermatosis, you do not see any discoloration in the skin, whereas here you see dermatosis, flaky paint appearance of the skin. The skin has the appearance of a flaky paint. Now here voracious appetite. Okay, the appetite is high, he wants to eat food, but the food may not be available or he is not able to absorb the nutrients. And here in case of kwashiorkor there is poor appetite, means he doesn't feel hungry. Now absent subcutaneous fat. Okay, and here there is reduced subcutaneous fat. There is fat but it is reduced. Here fatty liver is uncommon and in this case fatty liver is common. The liver also becomes fatty. Okay. Now let's talk about obesity. Can you see this boy? He is eating a lot of food. So when a person eats more food than is needed, the excess food is converted into fat, and we all know that excess fat is stored under the skin. This increases the weight of the person. Okay, he becomes very fat. The condition in which a person is overweight is called obesity. And one of the causes of obesity is a diet rich in high energy foods like butter, cakes, cream, chocolates, fried food and sweets, which I know most of you like, but you should avoid this food or eat in limit. Why? Because excess weight can lead to many medical problems. Can you all see this sailor? So let me tell you a very interesting fact. This fact is about deficiency of vitamins. Now, sailors on long sea voyages in the 16th and 17th centuries did not get fresh fruits to eat for long periods because they used to travel for a very long distance and they could not get fresh fruits. So many of them died due to a disease called scurvy. Okay, so many of them started dying because of the disease called scurvy. Now what is scurvy? It occurs due to deficiency of vitamin C. In 1747, the naval doctor James Lind found visible and sudden improvement when oranges and lemons were given to 12 patients with bleeding gums. Now you know, my dear children, that oranges and lemons are citrus fruits. They contain a lot of vitamin C. We have already learned this in our part 1 of this chapter. Okay, so it was given to 12 patients with bleeding gums, and bleeding gums is a symptom of the disease scurvy. Now some sailors who were on other treatments, that is the sailors who were not given this treatment of eating oranges and lemons, okay, they did not feel better. By the 1780s, a daily dose of lemon juice was made compulsory for sailors. Okay, So from then on, the daily dose of lemon juice was made compulsory for sailors so that their body does not lack, or their body does not have a deficiency of vitamin C. So this chart we have already studied in part 1 of our video. Okay. So here are the different vitamins and here are the different deficiency diseases which are caused due to lack of these vitamins. So you should remember these very well, take a screenshot or write it, and always remember that the deficiency of vitamin A will cause poor vision in dim light, that is night blindness. The deficiency of vitamin B1 will cause beriberi or nervous problems. The deficiency of vitamin B2 will cause cracked lips, especially at the corners of the mouth, and the deficiency of vitamin B6 will lead to anemia and seizures. So to avoid these deficiency disease, you should have these type of foods. So there are common sources of these vitamins which are given. So you should remember the common sources as well as the importance of these vitamins. So these are the remaining ones. So the deficiency of vitamin B12 causes pernicious anemia. Deficiency of vitamin C causes scurvy. We have just studied about scurvy. There is bleeding in gums and internal organs, and the person lose teeth, and there are bone defects also seen. Deficiency of vitamin D causes rickets in children. Now what is rickets? The bone becomes softened and out of shape, and it becomes brittle as well. So brittle bones in adults is seen, and the bone softens out in children. So in children it causes rickets. In adults it causes osteoporosis, that is bones becoming brittle and breaking easily. The deficiency of vitamin K causes spontaneous bleeding and it causes long clotting time. So if a person is injured, the clotting time is very long if a person is deficient in vitamin K. Now let's talk about mineral deficiency. Now children, you must remember that humans require 15 different minerals in their diet. So we all require a lot of minerals in our diet, although in small quantities, but yes, we require minerals. Okay, so these are the different minerals. So deficiency of calcium in our diet may cause rickets, that is soft bones in children, and osteoporosis in adults. The deficiency of sodium may cause muscle cramps. The deficiency of phosphorus may cause weakness, bad teeth and bones. Deficiency of iron may cause anemia. Deficiency of fluorine may cause bad teeth and weak bones. And deficiency of iodine will cause goiter. We already saw the picture of goiter. Do you remember? That is swelling in throat. Problems in development of babies. Okay. So these are the diseases which are caused due to deficiency of minerals. So, the government of India has started many programs to combat or to fight malnutrition among children, pregnant women and nursing mothers, because children, pregnant women and nursing mothers need a lot of these vitamins and minerals, so their requirements is high. So one of such program is midday meal programs for school children. So for school children, the midday meal is provided, the lunch is provided by the government. The lunch is such that it is high in nutrients and it prevents malnutrition in many of the villages where poor people are there, where the students are poor and their diet is not rich in different nutrients. So this was all about components of food. If you have liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to Zenith Academy Online. Please tap on the bell icon to get the notifications of all our videos. Thank you and happy learning, my dear students.